Is that a battalion chief? I can't remember. I can't hear anything.
How are you? Good. How you doing?
Remind me, your Silverthorne battalion chief?
Yep.
Salt Lake City
Division
Fire.
chief, whatever. Battalion chief is good.
Okay. They were just going to have me do a little.
Breaking news happening in downtown Salt Lake City right now. As you can see, we have got this 4-alarm fire that is burning. This is in the area of 1000 South and 200 West. Right now, we have more than 50 firefighters on scene of this fire. The smoke plume can be seen throughout the valley right now. So if you're wondering what's going on, let's get into those details. We actually have our chief photographer, Tanner Sigworth, standing by right now to walk us through what he's seen there on scene. So Tanner, okay, you've been there for a few minutes now. Give us a layout of the area and what's happening.
Well, yeah, Shara, as you mentioned, there is about 50 firefighters, 20 fire apparatus is what the battalion chief with Salt Lake City Fire tells me, that are right now in a defensive position fighting this fire, meaning they're kind of on the outskirts. You can see the ladder trucks behind me getting some water on this fire from the outside. It's about 10:30 south, 200 west here in Salt Lake City. They are getting some fire on it. They feel like they're in a good position on this fire. It is a vacant building, and as far as we know, nobody was in this building. There's no injuries involved at the time. So as you can kind of see, we got quite a few fire apparatus here. You can still see that giant smoke plume in the background. So they're still working on this fire, getting some water on it from above. And as I mentioned, I talked with Salt Lake City Battalion Chief, and they are saying this is now up to a 4-alarm fire. So again, several different fire agencies in the area right now. They do have this trax line. I'm actually standing on a trax line that comes through Salt Lake. That's currently shut down at the moment because this fire is right up next to that trax line, and they need this area to get fire trucks and other personnel in here to fight this fire. So a lot of streets blocked off around this area, and quite a large fire, but they do feel like they have a handle on it right now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Tanner. You know, we put Tanner on the spot here. Again, as I mentioned, he's our chief photographer here, a photojournalist at KSL TV. And I said, Tanner, we got to get you in front of the screen so we could talk about this fire. Tanner, when you're looking around here, I know you said when we say a 4-alarm fire, each alarm that this goes, that means bigger fire, more resources. So again, tell me just how many resources are there on scene, and can people even kind of get in and out of the area, or is everything just shut down right now?
Yeah, so as I'm looking around, I'm seeing definitely Salt Lake City fire, South Salt Lake fire. I think even down at the far end, we might have some unified fire folks helping out on this. But yeah, as the alarms grow, we get more resources on this fire. As far as getting into the area around here, it's all the way blocked off from where I'm standing here on about 1000 South, down 200 West, all the way to 900 South there. They're not letting anybody come down south from there or
Okay.
it looks like they're all the way blocked down to about maybe even 1100 south there. So this entire
Okay.
block is kind of inaccessible. So the battalion chief did mention just for safety and so that they can, keep working on this fire to kind of avoid this area and take an alternate route.
Okay, Tanner, hey, we appreciate it. I'm going to let you go. If you'll just go ahead with your camera, go ahead and just kind of turn us around and give us a live look from the ground at the scene there. So you can see some of the firefighters walking up towards this fire. This is from Tanner's vantage point here on the ground next to where this fire is burning. They've got it blocked off there. They've got a lot of resources on the ground. When we mentioned here 4-alarm fire, that just essentially means more and more resources get put on this fire. It's based on the complexity of the fire, where it's burning, how it's burning, and the need for those more resources. We heard the battalion chief, I don't know if it was on camera, but he was talking about drone support as well, getting up over the fire to see where they need to put that water. We've got a lot of ladder trucks, we can see from our UDOT cameras, pouring that water on top of the fire. So they're certainly trying to get a handle on it. For those who are just joining us, again, this is in the area of 1000 South, 200 West in downtown Salt Lake City. At least 50 firefighters on scene. We heard the battalion chief say they've got 20 fire apparatus there, so between fire trucks, those ladder trucks, we also got different ambulance on scene staging just in case there is any sort of injury that happens there. In terms of what's shut down, let's give you that layout. Right now, 200 West is closed from 900 South to 1300 South. Brooklyn Avenue will be closed from 300 West to 200 West. So please avoid that area. If you're looking around, you're seeing the smoke coming. Sometimes we get in a situation where we get a lot of looky-loos who want to come over and see how this is playing out. Try to avoid that. Due to the fire response, we've got a bus bridge that is in place with UTA. So the bus bridge has been extended between 600 South and Central Point. Continue to see significant delays on tracks until they get this fire out and they can open that tracks line back up. So that's what's happening right now in downtown Salt Lake City. We've had a lot of breaking news here today in the city, and this right now is consuming a lot of resources as they try to put this fire out. We heard Tanner say it is a vacant building, so that's some good news. We don't quite know what the building is at this point, what the history of this building is, what it's been used for in the past. We'll certainly dig into that with our KSL team. Let me look at an update here. Tanner is telling us that this fire is one that they've gone defensive on, meaning this is active. They've got to stage around the fire and fight it from the outside, try to get fire on top of it, or water on top of it, and they've shut down the tracks line through that area. So that's the latest message from there. Okay, you guys, I'm going to let you keep an eye on this fire as we continue to stream here in the KSL Stream Center. We'll put that UDOT picture that you're seeing on your right up full for you. We're going to make a few calls, see if we can get some of our other reporters on the line who are headed out to that fire and check in with Salt Lake City Fire, bring you any information you need to know right now. But it's certainly causing a commotion in the area. You can see the smoke plume going up from all over the valley, but that's what's happening at this moment. So give me a few minutes and we'll be back with some more information here. If you've been following along here, we've got this massive 4-alarm fire that is burning in downtown Salt Lake City. Right now, I have Battalion Chief Silverthorne joining us live from the scene of the fire. So, Battalion Chief, I want you to just take us through the top of this, the call out, what you guys came to, what you found, and what's happening now. So walk me through it.
Okay, so initial call came in a little over an hour ago. Came in as a commercial structure fire, which initially sends 4 engines and 2 trucks on this fire, and quickly escalated to a second and then a third alarm fire. And let's see, as of 10:51, it escalated further to a 4th alarm fire, which equates to us about 20 fire apparatus and about 70 to 80 firefighters are on the scene, not to mention our police counterparts and our Go Crossers that are standing by in case we have any injuries or accidents. What we have here is a vacant structures, a vacant commercial fire. It's been isolated to the building of origin. It does have an attached building that we're able to make a stop on, and we were able to isolate it just to the building of origin, and the fire didn't extend into the occupied part of this structure, which is this cleaners facility. Initial arrival, although this was a vacant building, we don't make any assumptions. Our firefighters made a quick search of the building and determined there wasn't anyone occupying this building, so we were able to focus our efforts on the firefight. Soon after we got here, we determined after the initial search we need to have a defensive posture on this fire, which essentially means that we don't commit any crews interior. We do a risk-benefit analysis, and we have a defensive posture. We surround this building with our fire apparatus, and we put our ladder trucks, as you can see behind me, up in the air, and fight the fire from an elevated master stream position.
Are you able to determine, Battalion Chief, how the fire started?
No, it's way too early to determine origin and cause of this fire, unless someone comes out or it's super obvious. Someone comes out and admits to it, or it's super obvious. Then typically, a fire of this size could take several weeks, if not months, to gather the evidence, interview any witnesses, and put a case together to try to determine eventually what the cause and origin of this fire is. But our investigators are actively working on the scene. Also want to thank our police department counterparts for helping us with surveillance. They have a pretty robust drone program that is helping us get eyes on this fire.
When you say 70 to 80 firefighters, we know you don't have that many in Salt Lake City at one time working. So where are those
Correct.
firefighters coming from, and are other areas of the valley at risk right now of not having their own firefighters? What's going on with that?
No, we have a pretty awesome agreement when it comes to just collaborating within our resources in the city. We have what's called mutual aid agreements. So we have other crews from other jurisdictions, including Unified Fire, South Salt Lake, and other people that I'm not completely aware of right now. But we have people not only coming into the scene here, but we have people moving up into our fire stations to continue to provide a level of service that the public depends on. And so
so you shift and cover as you go.
Correct. And that trickles down to other people covering other people's districts throughout the valley.
Okay, tell me, Battalion Chief, what is the risk level of this fire now? Is it focused on keeping firefighters safe now if we believe nobody's in there and nobody's injured?
Yeah. So our focus, obviously our priorities are life safety, incident stabilization, then property conservation. So right now we can sort of take a pause with the life safety piece and just make sure that we're diligent with being safe on scene, and then we can just sort of try to get to the point where we feel comfortable calling what they call an under control at this time, and then we will start de-escalating, releasing crews, okay. And then we get into sort of a salvage and overhaul where we look for hot pockets of fire and continue to try to minimize property damage or property loss.
Well, I can imagine with a cleaner next door, that would be a priority too, is making sure there's no spread into that building. But Battalion Chief, if you can walk us through real quick before we let you go, the closures in the area, what people need to know to stay safe there.
Yeah, first I want to note that our firefighters, with their aggressive attack, even if it was a defensive posture, we're able to minimize the exposure to this building right here, which is the cleaners. And that's our main area of focus for this firefight. The building has a shared wall with that structure, and so we're able to get occupants out of that part of the building, and we're able to make a stop on that before it hits that exposure. As far as the effect to traffic in there, we had to shut down this tracks line on 200 West, and so traffic is affected from approximately 9th South to 13th South, from West Temple to 300 West. Or excuse
Okay.
me, yes.
West Temple through 300 West.
West
Okay.
Temple to 3rd West, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Battalion Chief, I imagine you guys are going to be there for quite some time today, especially since we're still seeing that smoke coming off the building.
Firm, yep. I would say that, we hope to get a lost stop within the next little bit, probably 90 minutes, hopefully, and then we would go back and start sending crews interior to do our mop up and overhaul.
Okay. Battalion Chief, thanks so much for joining us. I know we put you on the spot there to jump on here and talk to folks about what's happening, but appreciate your time, and you and your crew stay safe out there.
We will. Happy to do it, and thank you guys for helping us get the word out.
Thank you. Okay, so we just heard from Battalion Chief Silverthorne there, who is on the scene of this fire. Sorry, we're a little, I don't know, our camera's all over the place here. There we are, folks. We'll get there. Don't worry. We're switching things around here in the Stream Center as we go along. But that's what we do here, right? This is pretty raw. We get people who are on scene, who can flip up their phones sometimes to just join us and tell us about what's happening right then in the moment. We saw our chief photographer, Tanner, join us a short time ago, one of the first there on scene. And then we just had the battalion chief who joined us here live. So that information coming to you in real time as quickly as we can as they continue to fight this fire. So just one quick recap for you, and then I'm going to go ahead and leave this live picture up as they continue to fight this fire. I've got to jump over on KSL 5 News at noon. Join us there. We'll have Shelby Lofton joining us live from the fire and give us some details on that scene. Right now, it's more the how are they doing in terms of getting this fire out. We know that the building was vacant. We do not know how the fire was started, but a big risk was this cleaner that was right next door that had a shared wall. And so it was protecting that shared wall so the fire didn't extend into that building. We heard from the battalion chief, everyone got out of that building safe. So that's good news. But this is a massive response to this fire. When we say 4 alarms, that brings in resources all over the Salt Lake Valley. He told us between 70 and 80 firefighters are on the scene of this commercial building fire. So they're working to get it out. That's the good news. Nobody injured. That's great news to hear, but we still have a lot of activity happening in this downtown area. 1000 South, 200 West, we have impact to tracks lines, delays there, a closure of the tracks line in that area. They've got a bus bridge that they're putting in place to get folks around that. So just expect a delay if you're using tracks to come downtown into Salt Lake City along 200 West. Okay, we are going to end it there. We'll leave this live picture up for those of you who want to continue watching the firefight on this fire, and encourage those of you who would like an update to join us over on KSL 5 News at noon. We'll start that in just about 20 minutes. Thanks, everyone.